and they get maybe 2 hours of sleep because they're studying all night and they're drinking coffee or 5-hour energy or whatever. They're drinking all these things trying to stay awake. But then when you go in to take the test and you start reading the questions and you start searching through your brain, when you're that tired from lack of sleep, your brain doesn't work very well. It's hard to think as clearly as you'd like. Some people do that, and then other people are the opposite. I've had some students of mine who I call professional resters. They always get plenty of rest, plenty of sleep. They hardly ever do this, so that's not so good. So if you actually treat both of these as equally important, usually when you walk in to take the test, here's what happens. You have done all the reading, you've spent the last couple days reviewing, you've gotten to bed at a good hour because you're not cramming, and then when you walk in to take the test, your brain is filled with knowledge and you're alive and have energy. That's the best combination I know to do well on a test. And so again, if you have a class this semester where you have a quiz every week, this really isn't that important. This is more for when you have a test every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, these big tests, trying to avoid waiting till the very last minute to do the reading and just sort of target that day 3 days before. And it helps a lot. It takes a lot of stress away as well. Okay, so that's the first idea under problem number 1. And then the second one says to set up a smart review schedule. I'm going to do a little exercise with you that is going to hopefully show you a few ideas related to the subject of how to set up a good schedule to review. So I'm actually going to put you to work on something in a second here, and I want you to look at this paragraph at the top of the page. I'm going to go ahead and kind of set it up or explain it for you, and then have you make a choice. Okay, so at the top it says that this woman, Susan, is going to have a very difficult 2 weeks. She's going to have a test in all 3 of her classes, history, psychology, and math. That sounds pretty tough. Okay, and she needs to figure out a review schedule that will enable her to be successful on her exams. And then it says here that she feels that the math test will be the hardest for her, history medium, and the psychology test will be probably not easy, but at least the least difficult. So what I want you to do, and I'm going to give you a minute or two to look at this, is I want you to look at these 3 schedules on the page. When you first look at them, they look the same, but they're not. And I want you to look at them very carefully and try to pick the schedule you think would be the best for her to follow. And when you've decided, you can put a little check mark or an X like you're voting for number 1 or 2 or 3. But I don't want you to do it really fast. I want you to take a little time to look at it and just see what you can notice there. Okay, I'll give you a little longer. I know sometimes it's hard to figure out, but I just want to see how well you can do.